Hey folks, welcome to another episode of SEM Saturday. It's a raw, uncut, unedited weekly video series where we teach you how you can attract, convert, and retain more customers to your business through search marketing. I'm your host, Riley Farbaugh.
I'm your co-host, Bobby Massa.
And today we're going to be talking about pay-per-click advertising on Google AdWords and Bing ads as well.
So, I think the first question for us to answer is, what exactly is pay-per-click advertising?
Yeah, so pay-per-click can refer to a lot of different methods of advertising, right? You can use the pay-per-click bid model on display advertising as well. But we're going to be talking specifically about paid search advertising, which is generally a pay-per-click or PPC bid model as well. So basically what this service does is it allows you to put your listing, your website, in front of users who are searching for your product or service. And the way you do that is you sign up with Google AdWords or Bing ads, and you create ads and keyword groups and campaigns. And basically you can specify to the search engine where you want your ad to show up. And you basically bid a certain amount for a click, and they will move you around based on your bid price and based on user behavior and things like that.
So, can like a small company, say for a very high demand, broad search term, say best restaurants in New York City, can a small company essentially just use pay-per-click to get to the top of the results? Or how does that and organic SEO interact?
Yeah, so the way paid search ads work is that you pretty much can pay to be there. It's not like you need an authoritative brand to come up at the top of those search results. But if your website isn't appealing to users, if Google sees that your click-through rate is lower because you don't have the same brand presence as the other advertisers in the space, you're going to be paying more per click than everyone else is for those keywords. So I don't know that the restaurants was the best example, because with the restaurants in particular, there's kind of a different attribution model than a lot of other businesses. Like with a restaurant, yes, someone searching for a restaurant probably is looking for it right now, but the way that the customer life cycle in a restaurant works is a little bit different than some other service businesses. I think the likelihood of a person coming back to a restaurant for the second time is only 20 or 30% after the first visit. And that's why generally restaurants aren't one of the niches that we target for SEO. But could they benefit from paid search ads? Absolutely, depending on how much they're paying per click. It's also, the bid model is typically cost per click. You can pay cost per acquisition also, but cost per acquisition should be what you're measuring in terms of measuring success anyway, because if you're getting clicks at a super cheap price and it's not converting, you'd rather be paying higher for traffic that converts.
So there's actual models out there where you're paying for actual conversions?
Yeah, and it's difficult for a search engine to be able to construct that model if they don't have enough data. So generally when you start a campaign or even several campaigns, you want to start with a cost per click bid model. And then as you get more and more data, then you can start switching to, generally the recommended sort of progression of bid models is manual cost per click, enhanced cost per click, maximize clicks, and then maximize conversions, and then cost per acquisition. And there's kind of a progression of bid models that you move down as you get more data and more volume.
That makes sense. So what are some other things that should be focused on when running a pay-per-click campaign to make sure it's more successful? Because anybody can essentially pay to get that top spot, but what are some things that you do to make sure that not only are you getting the top spot, but you're getting sales and you're retaining customers and gaining more visibility?
Right. So Ad copy is obviously important. The landing page that you're sending traffic to is important. And then also who you're targeting is important, right? So if you're a local business, you don't want to have a broad audience. You want your audience centered around the geographic region that you're serving. So there's some nuances to the AdWords platform, and Bing is similar, and you can actually just import your campaigns straight from AdWords into Bing, and it's like a nice, easy step to be on both platforms, but not really have to spend any time on Bing. Google is obviously, a lot bigger than Bing. 80% of the search volume is on Google, and typically a business might see 5 to 10% of their search traffic coming from Bing or Yahoo, versus the vast majority coming from Google. So definitely AdWords, Google AdWords is an opportunity for every business. I mean, depending on the competition in the niche and how much they're paying per click and what that translates to per acquisition.
Okay. Is there anything that interacts with organic SEO as well as like paid?
Yeah, so they kind of connect in that, especially if you're already ranking organically, like let's say you're ranking 3rd or 4th organically, if you put up an ad and all of a sudden you're at the top of the page and in the middle of the page, users are going to have more like trust towards your brand. You're going to build more authority in their eyes. So you may actually be able to increase your organic click-through rate by being present on the AdWords platform. And if you increase your organic click-through rate, that leads to higher rankings. So it's chicken and the egg, but
True. How are you like choosing the keywords and the keyword groups as well?
Sure. So there's a bunch of different approaches to how to structure an AdWords campaign. Probably the most interesting that I've stumbled across recently is it's an alpha campaign and a beta campaign, and then you have single keyword ad groups in each of those. So rather than having an ad group with 10 or 15 keywords that you're writing ads for, and Google's displaying, they're rotating through multiple ad copy for multiple keywords, you put 1 or 2 or maybe 3 keywords in an ad group, and then the text ads that you write targeting those keywords are a lot more specific to those searches and more relevant to the user.
Okay. So finally, I think what are the benefits of a Google AdWords campaign that would be unique just to paid advertising versus organic SEO?
So they're really similar. They're both attaining search traffic. They're both models of attribution, attaining search traffic that's highly targeted to your business. Users are looking for the product or service that you offer, and that's what's great about both of these channels. The thing about paid search is you're paying every time someone clicks on your ad, versus on the organic side, you invest in a long-term strategy to put yourself at the top of that list, and once that happens, it's a more natural method of attribution because you're not paying for those visitors.
That makes sense.
But if you have, as a business, if you have the capital to go out and acquire new website visitors, AdWords is probably one of the best spots to do it. The only platform that may rival AdWords in terms of your lowest cost per acquisition would be Facebook, just because of how specific you can be with the targeting and the mass of the audience on that platform. But Facebook can't match AdWords in that your AdWords traffic is going to be highly, highly targeted.
That's interesting.
What else you got, Bobby? Anything?
Well,
some tips for setting up your AdWords account?
Sure.
Make sure to link it to your analytics account so that they can talk to each other, and you have more detailed and confirmed analytics. And then, I would say use as small of ad groups as possible, right? 1, 2, 3, but not more than 5 keywords per ad group, because if you do more than that, your ad text is not going to be as relevant as it could be to the users that it's being served to.
Okay. It's good to know.
And in terms of how much you should be spending on the AdWords platform, really depends on your business. I always say that if the ROI is there, there shouldn't be a cap. Like, just spend. If you know the ROI is there, spend infinitely. Like, obviously there's diminishing return on the investment, but as long as it's increasing and as long as you're seeing the ROI,
right? Like, you're getting your money back and then some.
Right.
It's like, why not?
Yeah.
And so it seems like between organic SEO and like PPC, it seems like organic SEO is like more of a long-term investment strategy, whereas PPC maybe is, I don't know if I would say short-term, because it's not like, just it's not being too myopic, but would you say that's a semi-accurate representation?
Yeah, I think, investing in SEO is a long-term play. Investing in pay-per-click, it's not a short-term play. There are companies that consistently spend on AdWords, just consistently for years, and it works for them because it is search traffic, and if there's an ROI, it makes sense. But if the upfront investment in SEO pans out the way it should, then you'll be getting that traffic, that attribution, those new users, without having to pay for them. And that's really the promise of SEO and why it's so powerful.
Great. Well, this was a great SEM session. I feel like I learned a whole lot today.
Yeah. Hope you guys did too.
Definitely. We'll be continuing these conversations. I think we're going to also try to increase the volume of our SEM sessions here.
Yes. We're switching from SEM Saturday to SEM Session because we're stepping up our frequency.
Definitely. Might be SEM Tuesday, might be SEM Thursday.
That's right.
You never know.
So tune in to the next SEM Sesh and hope you learn something.
You.
Yeah.